Well, hello my crochet friends, how are you guys doing today? So it is time to get back to my project pile, right? This all started out because I needed to go through my project pile all those many years ago, right? Because I had hurt my rotator cuff. I needed to let it heal so I couldn't do any crocheting. Thought I'd go through my project pile. I didn't get very far through it because once I started making videos, it kind of took on a life of its own. And doing crochet alongs and crochet with me and then chat with me and let's talk about things and let's do things. And then I kind of abandoned going through my project pile, so it's time to get back to it, right? So hello, for anybody who's new here, my name is Jenny. Welcome to Granny Square Peg. So I bought a new desk recently, okay? And I turned my original desk back up against the wall because I had it floating in the middle of the room. Now it's back up against the wall. I have a second desk right next to it. Bought it from IKEA a couple weeks ago. Finally put it together. And now it's covered with crochet projects. Want to see? So, here is my original desk. There is my new desk from IKEA. Okay. It's got a trash can underneath of it because my trash can no longer fits next to my desk, right? Won't fit in there. That's my bin of leftover yarn. My step stool. And a thing I made for the cats. Anyway, so this is my desk, and I've already got projects on it. So, let's see. This, I just started a couple days ago, but I ordered more yarn for it, and I'm waiting for it to come in the mail today. This is yarn I got from the thrift store, and I worked it all up into a blanket, but I gotta sew in the tail ends and do some measurements on it. This was also thrift store yarn. I started making patchwork squares out of it, but I used the wrong size hook. This is a project of trying out different cotton yarns. Loops and Threads from Michaels, they're classic cotton. Peaches and Cream that I got at Walmart. Crafters Cotton from Hobby Lobby. So this is an ongoing project, but I would like to move it off my desk, like put it in a bin and sit it on my shelf with it labeled, knowing that I want to test out more cotton yarns. This is a hat that I made, double-stranded with Lion Brand Scarfy yarn, but I made it too tall. So wide, it's fine, and I did single crochets in the back loop only, so it's very stretchy. Okay, and even with the folded brim, it's still too tall, too high in the back. Or the top. So I need to frog that and redo it. I also grabbed 2 scarf projects out of my project pile from upstairs because I want to see if they need to be frogged or finished. This, I just started this last night. My stitch count is wrong, so I'm trying to figure out the pattern repeat and the multiple numbers so I can get it right. It's my my pattern that I did a couple years ago for the Karen cakes. Turns out my stitch count's been wrong all along, and I'm in the process of trying to fix it. Oh, these are my notes of trying to fix that. So let's stick this over here with this project because they belong together. These are 3 granny squares that I made years ago. It's Karen Simply Soft in this golden mustard and this blue and this green. I used to have them around the house. I'd have a candle sitting on them, or a little knick-knack, or maybe my lamp was sitting on them, but I no longer use them that way, so they've just been kind of floating around the house. And I washed them recently because they were full of cat fur. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but I'd like to figure that out. And then lastly, I made a little toy for the cats out of some loopy yarn. So what I would like to do is to go through all this stuff one at a time and clear off my desk so then I can add more stuff from my project pile. Alright, I've also got 2 drawers in this desk. Right now this has got notes from a project I did for the kids. This is an empty bag, a notebook so I can start putting my notes in there. And this drawer is going to hold my hooks and stuff. And more notes. This is the notes for the cotton project. So you see how I'd like to get it together. Let's start with the biggest project because it's mostly done. I really, literally, just have the ending yarn tail and the beginning yarn tail, wherever that is. This is just for the border. Maybe some yarn tails because I did this as a granny square. Yeah, so I've got some yarn tails I need to sew in, so I'm going to do that. I don't have the right angle for you guys to sit with me and do that. These are the notes I have for it, the yarn labels, and the leftover yarn. It was the yarn I got from the thrift store that is Red Heart Soft Baby, not Baby Soft, because it's now called Baby Soft. It's Red Heart Soft Baby, and it's vintage because it's from the 90s or earlier, maybe. Light teal twinkle. It was a number 3 sport. They called it sport weight back in the day, but now we call it a DK or a lightweight. And it's mostly acrylic. Yeah, 67% acrylic and 33% nylon. The nylon is this color that runs through there that's white, pink, yellow. The nylon part of this yarn was a nightmare to work with. My hook kept grabbing it, snagging on it, and ripping it separate from the other, from the acrylic fibers. So if I see this yarn in the thrift store again, and while it is pretty to look at, for me, it was a nightmare to work with. I did try doing a single crochet and then a double crochet, single crochet, double crochet. It just didn't work for me. And then I tried something else. Oh, for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. So I settled on doing a granny square. So one full skein of yarn, and I worked it until there was nothing left, and it gave me a granny square that is, I want to say 24 rounds, and it came up at 22 inches. So I've got 4 granny squares because I had 4 skeins of yarn. And then I took those granny squares and then I stitched them together, just with a single crochet like I like to do. And then I did granny on the border with this leftover white that I had. It is still Red Heart. Hold on, I have the label. For once, I'm actually pretty organized. Now this one was just called Red Heart Baby Sport Pompadour. So it's white with that silver thread going through it to make it look twinkly. Okay, so even this is old too. 1990, I think. Or 1999. I can't quite tell. From they have a date stamp there, and I can't tell if they're saying 1990 or 1999. But anyway, it wasn't a full skein. It's a 6-ounce skein, and it when I weighed it, it was 4.2 ounces. So I used that until there was nothing left, or it couldn't go around anymore. So that's all I have left of the white. And then for all of the blue, I've got 4 of these little balls of yarn that were left over. So they will go into my scrap bin. Hook size, I went down a hook size. I used an F, which is a 3.75 millimeter, in an old school boy, plain old aluminum hook. Took me only about, what, a week of working on it? When I had time, I just worked on it at night. So that's it, yarn tails. I gotta tuck the yarn tails in. I gotta sew in the yarn tails. So I need to find my darning needle. I'm going to turn you guys off, and I'm going to do that. And then we will take it upstairs, lay it out on my bed, and get some measurements on it, okay? Okay, friends, here's the blanket laid out on my bed. So see, I did 1 square out of each skein of yarn, okay? And each granny square is 24 rounds. And then I stitched them together in the middle. So it makes almost a perfectly square blanket. Although I am getting 2 different measurements, and that's probably because Arlo keeps grabbing my tape measure, because that's what he does. And there's my border. Just 2 rounds of the granny and then 1 round of single crochet. And then I did want to do picots, but I did not have enough yarn to do picots all the way around. So I just did a picot in each corner. So I mean, I could use some blocking, maybe with washing it and then just laying it out and stretching it to its fullest potential, I guess. But my camera, I don't know if it's showing the beauty of this color. They called it light teal twinkle. It really is a beautiful color. So the sun's in the background and it might be creating a little bit of shadow, but I really did like the color and the way it worked up in the granny square. I just didn't like that nylon bit that was running through there. That blanket is done, and I took some pictures for it to make a listing to put it up in my Etsy shop. The notes I'm going to take out of here and put it in my notebook. I'm going to take the yarn balls, stick it in my scrap bin, and then I will use this bag for the next project that's on the table that needs a bag. My yarn came in for one of the projects. I'm going to do some frogging. I'm going to put that one away. Well, my friends, hopefully this video wasn't too chaotic. Might have been. I don't know. So it's 4:30? 4:30 in the afternoon. I just like somebody who works in an office from 9 to 5. I try to be done this by 5 o'clock. So that blue blanket that we did, the granny square one, I had to do a lot of math on that one to figure out how much time I spent making it, because when I was making the squares, I didn't time myself, because every time you do a round on a granny square, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger because you're constantly increasing, so your time would change. You know, it could take you 2 minutes on the first round and then 3 minutes on the next round and 5 minutes on the next round. So unless you're actually, unless you're actually keeping track on every single round, or unless you can sit down and crochet that granny square from beginning to end in one shot, right? Yeah, no, I didn't do that. So what I did was towards the end of the last granny square that I was making, I would check and see how long it took me to make a granny cluster. 3 double crochets, chain 1. How long did that take me? On a good day, it took me 12 seconds. On a day when my hands didn't want to work very well, it took me 15 seconds. So, you know, always split the difference, but I did the math on 12 seconds, okay? So 12 seconds, and I counted, like, there's 1 granny cluster on the first round. There's 24 granny clusters on the last round, because it was 24 rounds, right? So then you take that, times it by 4, and, you know, you do a lot of math. So all totaled, it took me 18 hours to make the blanket. So now I have to come up with a pricing strategy, because $20 an hour does not work. 18 hours, that's an awful lot of money for a blanket that's throw size, you know? So as a crafter, you really have to be like $2 an hour for your going rate, right? So anyway, that's all done. So as far as cleaning out my projects, that was a good start, I think. So the next thing I want to do is I made some patchwork squares out of this thrifted yarn. It's Red Heart Soft, but it's very vintage. I bought this back in May. 3 skeins of it. I was going to make patchwork squares, but I grabbed the wrong hook. I grabbed a G instead of an F. So I have 4 squares here. I need to frog them. Okay, my friends, I have frogged those 4 squares. I would love to be able to keep them because you don't think there's too big of a difference between a size F and a size G. But the F is typically 3.75 millimeters and the G is typically 4.25. So for me, that does make a big difference in my squares sizing wise. So I'm just going to go stick this with my patchwork squares. I'm going to take this up there, and then I had 2 other skeins of this that I had bought. I think I sat them here with me. I'm taking these upstairs and putting them with my patchwork squares. And I might have had to cut the music out. I'm listening to a playlist, and YouTube probably doesn't like that. So I might have had to take the volume out and put in crappy YouTube music. I don't know. I'll be back. Okay, so that was day 1 of taking care of my new desk. And make sure it doesn't get overwhelmed and overloaded like I am overwhelmed and overloaded. So I'm trying to just do my current project pile. Once I get this stuff off my desk, we'll go around the house, we'll find another project pile, we'll bring it over, we'll sort through it, we will decide what to frog, what to finish. Sorry, my friends, I had to stop what I was doing. I was feeling a little dizzy. So, in progress of being cleaned off. Hi friends, it's day 2 of starting to work through my project pile. And my project pile is my most recent stuff. We haven't even gotten to the old stuff yet, but we will. So as you see that Clip It Bandit, he's sitting right behind you. He wants me to play. I don't want to play. So, there's one project off my desk, and that is the granny square blanket of the blue yarn that I thrifted. I did add something to my desk last night or this morning, but it was accidental. I'll show you. So let's get, I got at least 2 piles I can move off of this desk today, okay? Alright, let's go. Okay, project number 1, Bandit. And a toy that I made for him. I used this loopy yarn. Oh, there he goes. He left me. It is Off the Hook. It's a loopy yarn from Lion Brand. I found it at the thrift store for $1.99. I really love the rainbow color. It's just, what is it? It's polyester? Yeah, 100% polyester. It's only 3.5 ounces or 100 grams. And you can crochet it with no tools needed. It's just loops that you pull through. This is a yellow loop, so I pulled this loop through it. And I pulled this loop through it. So what I did was I just made toys. So we can just go like this. Well, that's the longer one. That one's for Arlo. Because Arlo, when he plays to kill. He plays to fight. He's usually very violent, so we need a longer string or a longer yarn so we're not too close to him. So he's being good today because he just woke up from his nap. So the shorter one is for Bandit. And the longer one is for Arlo, because then we also run around the house with him. Okay, so that's loopy yarn. Okay, so now I can just go ahead and throw this away, because I'll probably never buy this again, because I found it at the thrift store. I won't go out of my way for it. And I don't need this yarn label anymore. So that's one of the things I plan on doing this year, is getting rid of all of these random yarn labels. Who needs them? I don't need them. So, in the trash. Bye. Alright, next thing. This is what I added to my desk. This is 3 different skeins of yarn that got tangled. They are from my Patchwork Squares blanket. They're all variegated, right? And this guy, again, is the guy who demolished it. he was playing with one skein, then he grabbed another one, then he grabbed another one, and he made a mess out of them. But my husband loves to untangle yarn. So I found this in a bin this morning because I want to use that bin for something else. And I thought the bin was empty, but when I went to open it, I found this in there. So these are all, they're tangled together. Okay, so my husband will take care of them for me. So I'm going to go sit these on his desk. So there we go, easy enough. And my husband will take care of it for me. So I wanted this bin for my cotton project. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I've been working on. It is Loops and Threads, which is Michael's, and it's their classic cotton, which I hear that this is practically the same as Lily Sugar and Cream, just with a different label on it. But I don't know because I don't have any Lily Sugar and Cream. So the color is Confetti Ombre. Now it is a number 4 medium worsted weight yarn. It's only a 2-ounce skein. I bought 3 of them. Okay. What I did was I crocheted something for the kitchen, because this is all kitchen cotton, okay? It's not, definitely not something you'd want to wear. So bigger than a washcloth, but smaller than a hand towel. So we just call them kitchen towels, okay? Perfect thing for just doing things in the kitchen, right? Now I made 2. Okay, so what I wanted to do is, I wanted to try out cotton yarn, okay? I've always had a very love-hate relationship with cotton yarn. I like it, but I've always found it hard to work with. Every now and then I get it into my head that I have to do something. So I have to conquer my issue with cotton yarn. I don't know, that's just how it is in my brain. So 2 of them. So my experiment, this is an experiment if I didn't tell you that already, is I'm going to take one and put it in my kitchen. And we're going to see how well it does with drying hands, drying dishes, wiping down countertops, being washed in the washer, being dried in the dryer, being hung up to dry all by itself after it's been used. 1 in the kitchen and 1 in this bin. And then in what, 3 months from now, 6 months from now? I don't want to wait 6 months or a year, but let's say 3 months. So all of July, August, September. Take a look and see how this works up in the kitchen. Does it do its job? And so I've got 3 different yarn companies here to compare them, right? So I really liked working with this classic cotton from Loops and Threads at Michael's in this little speckled ombre that they've got going on. It was soft and it didn't give me any problems. So my pattern is just first row is single crochet, the last row is single crochet. The first stitch of the row is a single crochet. The last stitch of the row is a single crochet. And all the stitches in the middle, half double crochets. Okay. I used a size H for my crochet hook, or a 5mm. And I did a chain of 43, 44. And then, so that comes out to about 13, 14, 15 inches, depending on your tension. And then I just did the same, I measured it going up. It is about 14 inches tall. So not quite square, but almost. It wants to be. So I'm going to be putting 1 in the bin and 1 in my kitchen. And then starting tomorrow on July 1st, we are going to be testing these out to see how well they work. Oh, and also I want to try the ones with a knot in it. Because one skein gave me about 3/4 of a kitchen towel. So then the other skein gave me 3/4. And then the third skein helped me finish it, okay? So that's why I only have little bits left over, because I used almost a full skein, and I love that. I love that I used it all up. So this one's going to go into the kitchen with a knot and see how well the knot holds up. Alright, the second color that I got from Michael's was the blue ombre. They call it baby blue ombre. Which I know Lily Sugar and Cream has this color, because I actually used this color 20 years ago. But this one, so even though it's Loops and Threads and it's classic cotton, this one gave me so much trouble, because this one is nice and soft and drapey, but this one is super stiff and it drove me nuts. It wouldn't slide across my hook nicely. It was a pain. So I was not happy with this one. But anyway, doesn't matter because it's going into my kitchen, right? And my sizes did come out a little different from cloth to cloth. Some of them are taller, some of them are wider, some of them are very stretchy, and some of them are not. So that's why I like to experiment. I like to do research and development. So one in my kitchen, one in the bin, so we can compare them. Alright, the next one is from Walmart. Walmart carries the Peaches and Cream cotton thread. So it should be 100% cotton, right? I think they're all 100% cotton. Yeah, 100% cotton. So Peaches and Cream used to be an independent company years ago that used cotton here from the United States. It has been since sold to Spin Right or Yarnspirations, so it's no longer an independent company. So I can't compare current day Peaches and Cream to old school Peaches and Cream because I don't have any old school Peaches and Cream. I remember using it back when I was a teenager, but I don't have any because it would be too old by now, right? So again, they're still 2 ounces. I bought 3 of them, and in the color Fleur de Lavande. So it's probably lavender flower because it's in French. So in this color, lavender flower, which I love this. So it's yellow, pink, white, and blue. Same pattern, same hook, same stitches. Okay, so one for my kitchen and one for the bin. Oh, this one had manufacturer knots in it. This is a manufacturer knot. Oh, they drive me crazy. I know they do for everybody else too. So I left them there because I want to see if they come out on their own. So this is the one that's going into my kitchen. I want to see how well that manufacturer's knot holds up. And this one that has no knots in it can go in my bin. So I got that at Walmart. And most of these, the Peaches and Cream was $2.58. The Loops and Threads was $2.99, I want to say. So it had been weeks before I went back to Walmart, and it was actually just recently. And I found, because when I was there the first time, this lavender flower, it was the only color they had on the shelf. So since then, my Walmart has restocked their shelves, and I got the green stripey one. Now the difference between the Peaches and Cream, this was wound up in the little balls that they do, right? So this green stripey one is actually their new version now of how they're doing it in a cake. So I have, and the weird thing is, it's like the same yarn, right? It's Peaches and Cream, it's stripey, but for some reason, like it's 2 ounces or 56 grams, 102 yards, 93 meters. I have so much more left over in this cake form than I did from the traditional ball size. It's so weird, right? So weird. Oh, and the blue one. I had a lot left over after that. Well, I feel like it's a lot compared to everything else. I don't know. I had all different kinds of different lengths left over. So I did find this one to be super soft. It has a satiny feel to it, even though it's 100% cotton. So it feels different than this. This is a bit stiff, okay? But this is already super soft to start with. So I'm curious as to how this would work up in the kitchen. How it would, being as soft as it is, would it still be able to do its job, you know? But I like the stripey green. It's cute. That one into the bin. This one into my kitchen. And then last I have yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's their Crafter Secret. And it should be, I don't know if it's 100% cotton. Yeah, 100% cotton. It is 2 ounces, just like everything else. $2.99, and I got 2 different colors. I got Jump for Joy, and then Sun and Shadow. This Jump for Joy color. Oh, I love this. It's a sage green. It's got a blue that goes into a purple, which goes into a lighter pink, and then the white throughout. I love this Jump for Joy color. So this one is not as soft as the green stripies, but nothing is as soft as this one. But it's not as stiff as the peaches and cream either, or the loops and threads. So weird how they all work up differently. So, into my kitchen, and into the bin. And then the next color, Sun and Shadow, did I say? This was my husband's pick. He was with me that day I was at Hobby Lobby. This is my husband's pick. Black, gray, white, and yellow. He was picking out everything that had yellow in it. He is definitely in his yellow phase. I don't know why he liked this one so much. But it's alright though. So, one for the bin. One for my kitchen. Hello, baby. Hi. So, I've got all the leftovers in the bin too. I'm going to put all the yarn labels in there, although I would like to get rid of them by the end of the year. My hook, I'm putting it back in the drawer. I wrote it down that I know which hook I was using so I can stay consistent. I even write down, because it's a Boy hook, I use all the metal aluminum hooks from Boy. I even wrote down it's color-wise that it's my light gold. This way I don't pick out a different color. So I know which hook that I used, and these are my notes. It'll go in there, and then we'll come back in July. No, not July. We're starting in July. We'll come back at the end of September and see how well this cotton did in the kitchen. And that's why we're keeping one in the bin, so we can compare them. One that's been used and one that hasn't. So this is going to my kitchen, and this going on the shelf behind me. And I will put a little note on the outside of the bin that lets me know what's in here and why. That can go up there. Okay. So give me a minute to go put these in the kitchen, and I will be back to figure out what else we're moving off the desk. Okay, so this is a project I am currently working on. My pattern number that I'm working on, these three here, I'm going to take these and go put them in my sample bin that I've been collecting over the years. So, here we go. Alright, I'll put them on my chair. Alright, what's next, Arlo? Well, that's actually pretty good. So next, on day 3, which will be tomorrow, we will take care of this hat that I need the frog, a scarf, and a scarf that I need to figure out what I'm doing with. And that's good for day 2. Okay, friends, day 3, all right, of projects that are on my new crochet desk, right? I've got 3 projects left on day 3. I have a scarf, but I don't feel like going to figure out what I want to do with this one today. I have another one. We're going to save these for the next video, okay? They're sitting on the desk, they're not taking up a lot of space, and they're not bothering me for the moment. This one is. This one, I really want to fix this one. Is making a hat. But the hat wound up too big. Check this out. Even if I fold up the brim. See? It's too tall. Even for my husband, it was too tall. And because I was using Lion Brand Scarfie in this golden mustard yellow color. What do they call it? Cream and mustard. And I did 2 strands together. So it's nice and thick. So it'll be nice and warm. And a single crochet in the back loop only makes it nice and stretchy. But I did too many chains, so it came out too tall. I was aiming for 8 inches, right? And it came out at more than 12. So, yeah, my starting chain has to be smaller. So I did a starting chain of 35. So I need it smaller than that. So let's go at 20 or 25. And then also, if you try to do this together up at the top, it makes it too bulky. So what I'm thinking is the last 5 stitches, maybe 3, 5, 7, maybe the last 5 stitches of the row, I do a slip stitch in the back loop only. And then when I start the next row, slip stitch into the slip stitches for like 5 stitches, maybe 7. It'll get rid of some of this bulk up here, so then it won't be so thick for me to stitch together. So I have to find my ends, because I did sew up the middle. I have to find my ends so I can frog it. Okay, friends, a little trick for when you need to frog a project that you know that you're going to work on as soon as you get done frogging it so you can fix it. I have a bag sitting next to me, and what I will do is I will frog it and it'll sit on top of the bag, so then I can just pick the whole thing up and take it to the couch without it getting tangled up. Would help if I had the skeins out of the way, right? For a yarn that is a number 5 bulky, and it's 78% acrylic and 22% wool, it's frogging very nicely. I'm so close. These last couple chains are proving to be very difficult. It seems as though they want to get stuck every other chain. Come on. Ha! There we go. So check out that nice big hank of yarn. So it'll be nice and easy for me to carry it to the couch like this. So not in the bag, just sitting on top of the bag. So I just grab the corners, carry it to the couch, I leave my tail end out, so I just grab my hook, and I can start all over again. So I really do like the Lion Brand Scarfy yarn. I do have a fair amount left over, and I actually have more upstairs in my stash. So my question to you, my friends, help me out. I need a scarf pattern because I would love to, and I don't want the scarf pattern that's on the label. No, I want a scarf pattern that would go well with the kind of hat that I made. So can you guys help me out? Give me your favorite scarf patterns down in the comments below. You can't put links down there, but give me a name and maybe where I could find it. Yeah, no, I don't like the scarf on the label. So let me know if you guys have a favorite scarf pattern, okay? So I'm going to grab my hook. I'm going to go to the couch. I'm going to watch some World Cup soccer. And I'm going to get this done. But this is where we're going to end today's video. The next video, I should have a finished hat for you to see. And we'll figure out what I'm going to do with those scarves over there. And then we'll go dig more stuff out of the project pile, okay? You know how much I love you guys. I will see you. My next video should be a yarn haul and starting to inventory everything that's upstairs in my yarn room, okay? I'll see you guys later. Bye!